morning, buenos dias, bonjour, sin ciao, ni hao. We're going to do chapter 3 today. So chapter 3 is still under the second section of shopping in The Handmaid's Tale. Okay, so brief recap summary. Our narrator, the handmaid, walks out into the garden. We're told that the garden is the commander's wife's domain, but she's not actually getting her hands dirty and working. There's a guardian there who's doing the actual shoveling work for her. Our narrator then flashes back to 5 weeks earlier when she first arrived at the new household and met the commander's wife. So at that moment she realized the commander's wife in the past life or in the past world had been a sort of celebrity named Serena Joy. And Serena Joy was once, quite beautiful, a striking blonde who sung on a Sunday morning televangelist show. So when they meet in the doorway at the threshold, the literal threshold from inside and out, like a border, before she can cross inside or be admitted into the house, the commander's wife acts in a very hostile way. So there's this charged tension from the start. And we find out that the commander's had other handmaidens who haven't been successful in bearing him child, and that our narrator has also been to 2 other households prior where she hasn't had a child or become pregnant. So we're building up this idea of tension, right? Both the household, the commander's wife, have failed repeatedly at their task, and our narrator, the handmaid, has also failed repeatedly at her task. So they're not filling their roles in society, and thus there's an extra charged air of tension in the house. Dig in a little bit more to the analysis here, get into the nitty-gritty of what's going on in chapter 3. So we hear that the garden, the commander's wife's domain, is all about orderliness and neatness, parted like someone's hair, okay? And then there's this idea of worms being cut up and chopped and killed. So it's a kind of the dirtiness of nature or the natural world versus the clean orderliness of a tidy little kept garden. We're also told that the wife, Serena Joy, likes to knit, but the narrator feels she's knitting and unknitting, or sort of making and doing, just it's more of busy work than she's actually caring about the scarves she's making. And this feels like a reference to sort of Greek mythology, to Athena or Arachne knitting, or to Penelope, the wife of Odysseus, who sat waiting for him, and she would weave every day to keep her suitors at bay. And then at night she would undo her weaving and redo it again. So it's this idea of constant busy work just to keep herself going mindlessly. This could also be a possible reference to the American poet Edna St. Vincent Millay, who wrote a poem about Penelope biding her time and waiting, and the emotional angst and pain that Penelope must have felt. So similar to the way Atwood here is rewriting George Orwell's 1984, but from the perspective of what would this dystopian future be like for a woman as opposed to a man in Orwell's character. Find out quite a lot more about the wife here. So she's wearing powder blue, so it's this very calm, blank, neutral tone. She smokes cigarettes, which is illegal, right? So she has enough power that she can break the rules, or at least bend them, the narrator tells us. The cigarettes are also an allusion to a form of currency, right? Cigarettes are traded in jail. They were traded in concentration camps during the Holocaust and World War II. We find out the wife's eyes, or Serena Joy's eye, are a flat, hostile blue, like a midday summer sky, bright sunlight. So again, I get this image here of a sun coming down on your head, of literal judgment taking place, like the noon hour. We're also told that literally the wives are allowed to hit the handmaid's tale, but only with their hands, so not using an implement. So the exact quote is that there's a scriptural precedent. So we really learn that we're in a world where the orthodoxy, where the word of the Bible has become the law. The once young and nubile and successful Serena Joy is now arthritic and tired looking and withered, walking with a cane. In other words, her youth is gone. And if her youth is gone, it means her fertility is gone, and hence the need for the handmaid in the house to bear children. We finish the chapter with words from the narrator saying, "It was worse than I thought." In other words, Serena's joys fall from grace or fall from fame and celebrity to her current position, sort of trotting around the house with a cane and watching over her little plot or garden, has really been a fall from a time of success, from being on television where everyone in America knew her name and face. And now, even though she has the small power over her garden, her name is gone too. She's an object, the commander's wife.